We're going to talk about sprites and costumes. A sprite is an actual character or actor in your video or your game, and the costumes are different outfits that an individual sprite will wear. So you're always given the Scratch Cat as your default sprite, and you can do all your programming just using Scratch Cat. However, there's a huge Scratch library, and there's lots of different ways that you can create your own sprites as well. So when you go down to choose a new sprite, you're going to get 4 options. The first option from the top down is to upload a sprite from your computer. That would basically be a picture, and that would be a bitmap sprite. The second thing you can do is have Scratch choose a sprite for you from the library. The third thing you can do is create your own sprite right within Scratch, and you will learn some ways to do that later on. And then the fourth thing you can do is search in the Scratch library. If you hover over a sprite in the library, it will show you all of its costumes. So now what we're doing is we're looking at the Scratch Cat. So if you look up on the top left in this purple area, you've got the code pane normally open so you can start writing your program. If you click on costumes, you'll actually get your sprite in an area where you can fix or change or modify or add the costumes. And then there's also a sound section. So the blue sprite is the active sprite. And then the place where you can choose your sprites is down there on the bottom right. So this is a vector sprite. Notice that it says convert to bitmap. You don't want to convert it to bitmap because you can do a lot. You can do a lot more things with the sprite in the vector mode. And right now we're looking at Scratch Cat's 2 costumes. First costume and the second costume. If we right click on the costume, we can duplicate it. We can also discard it by clicking on the trash can. If you click on the vector node tool, the nodes used to create Scratch Cat's head show up. So basically this is a formula that the computer uses to create the shape of the head. And each one of these nodes is something that you can move to change the shape of Scratch Cat's head. So here's an example of Scratch Cat's head stretched out, and I also changed the color inside of it. This is a bitmap sprite. If you take a look at it, you'll notice that it says convert to vector, but you really can't convert a bitmap to vector. It'll just make the whole thing into one vector. And one of the problems with bitmaps is that when you go to enlarge it or change the size, it becomes pixelated. And the only way to fix it is 1 pixel at a time, because in bitmap, each pixel has a color assigned to it. These are some blocks that show the sprite saying something or thinking something. But down here at the bottom, we have the sprites that cause costume changes. So you can first of all switch costume to whichever costume you like, and you're going to name each costume differently. Or you can just have the sprite cycle to the next costume. That's good for when the sprite is, say, running, and you just want to show it the 2 different kinds of running steps. And that's sprites and costumes.